here with another video. So let's talk about Alexander Usyk and his venture into the heavyweight division. Now this weekend he was supposed to be taking on Tyrone Spong. However, that fight has been, cancelled because Tyrone Spong, there was an adverse finding really in his VADA testing, which has made him withdrawn from the fight. Like the licensing commission have not agreed to license him, pretty much. So he's out of the picture now. He's currently appealing it. He feels that there's been some misjudgment there. He feels that he's been handled in a bad way. So until we get all the evidence, until that's all gathered, I'm not going to speculate and pretend like I know what's going on exactly. All I know is that there's been an adverse finding in Tyrone Spong's VADA testing. He's appealing it. He's going down the legal route and channeling all, avenues available to him to get that sorted out. So until that's done, then we could talk about it then. But for now, he's been withdrawn from the fight. Chaz Witherspoon, the heavyweight, who is, I believe, the cousin or the relative of Tim Witherspoon. Definitely a relative of Tim Witherspoon, but I'm not sure if it's the cousin or nephew or what. But he'll be stepping in to face Alexander Usyk. I don't know too much about this guy, but I know that he suffered a loss before to Chris Arreola. I think it might have been a disqualification. He's a big heavyweight, and I think that was the sort of replacement that Eddie Hearn was looking for when he lined up his list of replacements to take on Alexander Usyk after Tyrone Spong pulled out. So I'm not expecting Chaz Witherspoon to pull off the upset. I'm expecting Usyk to come through it. However, this video is really just to, before we actually see him at heavyweight as a professional, let's just analyse how we think Usyk would do, The heavyweights out there right now, you've got the likes of Anthony Joshua, the champion Andy Ruiz, the champion Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury. You've got all of these guys there. And it's fascinating really for me to see how Alexander Usyk will venture into this division, how he's going to do against these sort of elite fighters. Now, he's conquered cruiserweight, won the undisputed championship there, defeated everybody there was to defeat in only 16 fights. Now, he's fought at heavyweight before. In the amateurs, he fought as a heavyweight. He's already defeated the likes of Joe Joyce at heavyweight. So this isn't new to him completely. But going in there as a professional, going up against these big guys, is going to be different. And like I said, while I expect him to pull through against Chaz Witherspoon, it's really afterwards that the intrigue will set in. We really want to see how he's going to get on with these guys. And looking at the rankings, as I did yesterday, Alexander Usyk was number 1 with the WBO. I think he's the mandatory there. And I think he's number 2 with the WBA. So he's very high in those rankings. He's currently not ranked with the WBC and the IBF. So I know he called out Deontay Wilder this week. He said he was looking for that fight. But unless Deontay Wilder really wants it, then I can't really see that happening, unfortunately. Not for the near future anyway. I think that Alexander Usyk would have to work his way up those rankings and try and force it. But we've seen Dillian Whyte's been the number 1 contender for a long time now, and he still hasn't got his shot at Deontay Wilder. So I don't know. Maybe Alexander Usyk would have to pick up a belt elsewhere and then challenge Wilder. Maybe that would be more appealing. But he called out Deontay Wilder this week, and it set everybody off. Everybody wants to know how he would do against these guys because his skills are so elite at the top level. He's a pound for pound rated top fighter, Alexander Usyk, and that is the real, he's like the wild card in this division. This already unpredictable division, Alexander Usyk is looked at as the wild card because he's got so much skills, so much ability, so much talent, and to go up there against these giants like Joshua, Fury, people want to know how he'd get on. But until he takes on Chaz Witherspoon, we might know a bit more then. But presuming that he comes through that, we want to see him up against these guys, and it could not be long before we see it. Like I said, he's high up in those rankings. Anthony Joshua and Andy Ruiz, whoever wins that rematch in December, will probably have to face Usyk next. I think they're going to be lined up to face him, or they'd have to face Kubrat Pulev. I think one of those. So plenty of fights out there for Usyk to take on, even if it ain't the champions. The fights against the likes of Dillian Whyte, Alexander Povetkin, Luis Ortiz, Daniel Dubois, even like those kind of guys, that would intrigue me a lot as well. So very interesting. I'm really excited about it, actually. And let's just hope that Usyk puts on a great performance on Saturday night. We want to see him look impressive. We want to see him get people talking about it. And it could be an exciting 2020 for him. He's not shying away from the challenges at all. I'm really looking forward to it, man. And I'm hoping that he puts in a good performance this weekend. But how do you guys see it with Alexander Usyk and the heavyweight division? How do you compare him to the top guys, the Joshuas, the Furies, the Andy Ruizes, the Deontay Wilders? How do you see him getting on with those guys? Would you like to see him step in with the likes of a Dillian Whyte first? Doubt that would happen, but considering where Dillian Whyte is in his ranking right now, he wants to fight Wilder, so I don't think that will happen. But There's plenty of guys out there that he could fight. Even the likes of Michael Hunter, you know, Derek Chisora, you know, these guys, there's so many guys out there. So I'm really hoping that Usyk shines and impresses at the weekend, and then we can talk about the likes of those guys. But for now, let me know what you guys think about it. How do you see his entry into the heavyweight division going? Do you think that his skills will pull him through? I remember actually Anthony Joshua said in a recent interview that they all acknowledge that Usyk's got the skills, but at heavyweight it's a whole different ballgame. You know, these guys have got tremendous punching power and they've got the will as well as the skill to pull them through. And that will be tested for Usyk, no doubt. I mean, it will be tested, his will, going up against bigger guys. But like I said, he's done it before in the amateurs, but this is a whole new game now as a professional. So let me know what you guys think about it anyway. Drop your thoughts in the comment section below. How do you see Usyk getting on this weekend, and how do you see him getting on in the heavyweight division as a whole? Do you think that he could become champion? Let me know in the comment section below. Catch you guys on the next one.